Hey guys, so I talked a lot of trash about episode 1 of Daryl Dixon season 2, and I stand by it. But episode 2 was a massive improvement, and episode 3 is actually really good. Easily the best episode of this show thus far, and it's probably in my top 10 episodes of all the spin-offs thus far, not including obviously the main show, and maybe some of Early Fear. So briefly, I want to talk about episode 2 first, the stuff I liked first. So stopping off in Greenland with Carol and Ash is cool. They make it look like no one lives in Greenland though, which is whatever. The new zombies were nice, they were cool. The stuff with Daryl was solid enough. Laurent getting taken again, but the twist was he actually wasn't taken, it seems. Dun dun dun. He was just kept by the people at the nest to get rid of Daryl and some of the people they don't like. Emile is taken out pretty quickly, but to be honest, I'm glad they're moving the story forward. Carol arrives in France, and I'm happy that they get her with Madame Genet as soon as possible. No more pit stops. Cool. It's a little bit coincidental, sure, but I was always under the impression that Genet's group basically controls Paris, so it's not too out there. I'm glad that we're actually exploring Daryl and Isabelle as a couple, so I'm glad that we got past the flirting and the weird tension and just get into this relationship, although it felt a little too sudden for me. I do think the kiss was well shot, and it was probably around the right moment. I just think maybe a scene before it where they kind of explored their feelings for each other a little bit more, but just kind of didn't connect, I guess. Something like that, just a few more story beats to kind of flesh it out. Maybe that was needed in the last season, actually, maybe not in this season. But I just feel like it was a tad bit sudden. I mean, all the signs were there, it was clear where they were going, but still. Okay. Some bad points about episode 2. The activists in Greenland were goofy. I like the idea that the one woman really wants to get pregnant. It's a reversal of that sort of trope that men always want to use women as sex objects in apocalypse times. So I wish they explored it more though. We ditched Greenland after 5 minutes, and I think they could have actually really developed this dynamic a bit more. I like how Ash kills the one woman when he didn't need to, but why was he just left in the plane? The crazy one didn't tie him up or anything. And also, why didn't Ash rush to save Carol or flee? Why did he stay by the plane? Did he want to be a sperm donor after all, maybe? There's an easy fix here. Just have him being tied up and then we have a quick scene of him getting free. That's it. Also, the less crazy one kills her crazy friend way too easily. Carol has a 5-minute conversation and she's like, alright, cool, I'll kill her. Another easy fix would be just have the crazy one being very abusive to the non-crazy one, alright? We see that kind of abuse going on. Carol points it out, says, look, listen, she's allowed you to have an opportunity here in killing me, obviously, but you can kill her, if you don't want to be abused. Do you think her having a baby is going to make her happy? Do you think she's going to stop hitting you and beating you? We have that kind of layer on it, and I think it makes it a bit more believable. Back to France. Laurent is very easily convinced it was cool to kill Isabelle and the others by this other weird cult woman. Listen, if we're going to go the cult angle, which I really don't like, I feel like Laurent is already there, right? Just have him be all bought into it. Why add this extra layer, this extra woman who's manipulating him and convincing him to do these things? Just have him be already bought into it. But overall, honestly, decent episode. Not amazing, but I'd say it's a solid 6 out of 10. So a positive. Episode 3. Wow. This episode made me care about 3 characters I really didn't care about before. Those being Genet, Isabelle, and kind of also Falou. So first, let's go to the flashback with Genet. It was really welcome. Her being a cleaner and then kind of rising to basically the president almost of France is a really cool idea and concept. We don't really know the full extent of how she got to power, but that's okay. We can learn more as we go along. And even if we don't, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Her origins shape her character well. They could have let her husband in to the Louvre, but the government were too focused on protecting the paintings, and that respect for art and spiritualism and religion led to her husband's death. So it's no wonder why Genet hates all this religion. She thinks it all leads to extremism. It needs a bit more fleshing out for sure, but honestly, I like this idea. It's a good balance. I think what this season is doing quite well is it's showing the extremes of religion and the extremes of atheism. Maybe less so atheism, more just the extremism of being anti-religious. And they're both being sort of played out here. I think The Walking Dead goes a bit too much into religious groups. and it's kind of boring to me and a little unoriginal. Cough, 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 the Reapers. This, though, it feels a little fresher, although I still don't like the cult angle with Lo Song. It just feels a bit messy, okay? I think all the stuff with the nest needed a bit more fleshing out, a bit more work. I understand kind of why they want Laurent to be bitten by a zombie, but they were kind of never really set up like that in the first season, and it feels like this has kind of come a little bit out of nowhere. Just my opinion. But hey ho, it's not as terrible as the Reapers. I like it more than them. Isabel and Daryl's chat when they're chained up is really touching. It's harking back to their conversation previously in the episode when they're looking for a way into the compound. And I really like the kind of bonding scene they have. It makes me believe Daryl actually cares for her. I just wish Daryl's soft side came out just a tiny bit more, you know? Some anger, some aggression, some tears. Like how Beth brought it out in season 4. I just think if we want to really believe that Daryl cares for Isabel, we need to see that soft side of him come out once again. Falou is just cool. He's loyal and he's a badass, right? That's just enough said. The old boy / Daredevil style fight scene with Daryl was fucking awesome and actually not that badly choreographed. It's not up there with Old Boy and Daredevil, obviously, but it's pretty well done. It's brutal and it's dumb and it's fun, okay? That's what I like. This show should do that a bit more, okay? Let's not be doing religious themes all the time, okay? Let's just have some cool-ass action. Carol finding out where Daryl is from Caudron, it all fits, although I want to know why this high-value prisoner is kept with all the commoners. I get why he's probably still alive, because they still don't know the location of Laurent, but, you know, why is he kept with the commoners? At first I was thinking Janae is an idiot. Why does she care if Carol wants to kill Daryl? Why is she driving her around, giving her speeches? But in the end, I actually kind of get it. She's adding Carol to the horde of the dead, of, you know, the super charged up zombies. And I imagine Janae was thinking how ironic it would be if Daryl was killed by his old friend, who she obviously thinks has a grudge against him. She's twisted like that, I guess, and yeah, I really like it. And that ending, was tense. It was suspenseful, okay? It was a good-ass cliffhanger. This is the first time I felt like a little bit of suspense and tension in the Walking Dead universe in a long time. Sure, we know Carol's not going to die, obviously, but I still feel it. Like, I felt, fuck, this is actually like, how the fuck's she going to get out of this kind of thing, right? It was a good-ass scene. It was a good-ass ending. And it was a nice little twist, right? Janae actually didn't give a fuck about Carol, okay? She just wants to add her to the little horde. Okay, some bad points. Sylvie's death. So, I was interested to see where they go with Sylvie now that Emile is dead. Obviously, those two were together. They were a couple. Would she understand? Would she side with Lawson? Nope, she's dead. I never really cared about her character that much, but it felt really abrupt, and I questioned the point of her character in the first place. I feel like no one even cared she died. Laurent's just high, and Isabel gets over it pretty damn quickly. I get having her being a zombie to bite Laurent is fitting, but we could have done more to get to this point. She just fucking falls. Like, what the fuck? It was an undignified end for a character who's been there since the start. And it feels like what was the point of that scene in episode 2 with Emile and Sylvie, you know, bonding, just to kill both of them off by the end of episode 3? Like, what was the point of that scene entirely, right? What was the point of their characters, full stop? The dramatic scene where Carol is riding off on a horse and all of Janae's people catch her as she's going to escape is silly and cliche. Why were they all waiting there dramatically instead of just finding and capturing her? What if she found another way out? What if she'd scaled a wall? They didn't know. They didn't know how she was going to escape. Overall, though, I think I'd give the episode a solid 7, and maybe I'll lean to an 8. There is a lot of silly things in there and a lot of things I didn't like, but there was just a lot of stuff I really fucking loved. I loved the action. It was purposeful too, and it didn't feel cheap. I liked fleshing out Janae. The scene where she makes the dude eat the food on the floor was funny as hell, and shows how she rules with an iron fist, you know, and it was just sort of funny. And also, this line she drops, this line was dope.
How are you so sure it's the real thing? Because I'm the one who took it out the fucking wall.
Okay, so that's my review for episode 2 and 3. Tell me your thoughts on the show so far. It's definitely improved quite a bit since the first episode, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I know the episode's leaked without English subs. Please be respectful and don't post spoilers, or I'll ban you. That's right, yeah. But, like, come on. Don't be a dick. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me your thoughts, like I said. Bye.
Show's over, motherfucker.